Kamala Harris herself took when she launched her first campaign to be the Democratic presidential nominee some 5 years ago. The Kamala Harris on the stage in Chicago seemed more eager to appeal to moderates and disaffected Republicans than the party's liberal activists. We'll see what Republicans have to say about all that shortly. But what about progressives in her own party? What do they think? There is nobody better to ask than our next guest, Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, welcome to This Week. Before we get to the convention and all that, I want to ask you about the news overnight out of Israel. Do these attacks from Hezbollah underscore that Israel is still very much under threat?
Well, I think clearly we have a very volatile situation in the Middle East. We have had that for a long time now. The good news is it appears that both Hezbollah and Israel are trying to de-escalate. I hope that happens, and I hope we reach a ceasefire with Hamas, Israel and Hamas, as soon as possible.
All right, let me ask you about the convention. What was your take on the messaging from Kamala Harris in Chicago?
Well, I think the energy coming out of that convention was very high. I think it's going to be a rough campaign. I think the vice president now has a very good chance to win it. She's certainly going to win the popular vote by millions of votes, and I think she has a great chance to win many of the battleground states, and I intend to do everything that I can to see that she wins. My own guess is, Jonathan, that I think people are growing tired and fatigued with Trump's consistent and outrageous lies. And I think no matter what people may think of Kamala Harris, I think they want stability in the White House. They want somebody who they can trust. And I think they understand that is not the person that Donald Trump is.
I want to play for you a few lines from her speech about her role, what her role would be as commander-in-chief. Take a listen.
As commander-in-chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself. I will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary to defend our forces.
Bernie's so fucking cucked. There's no... Let's see what he says. But, I mean, that part of the speech is so... It is the worst, right? Not even the, like, Israel-Palestine part. Because, obviously, that's a given. Okay? That's a given. That's a given. That's a given. That's a given. You know, ultra-Zionism. You already know how it is. Okay? Democratic Party, Republican Party, they're aligned on this. But, like, the idea that, like, she's also fucking... She's in all black because of a funeral for any ceasefire propositions. Yeah. Like, the fucking, we're going to have the most lethal military. Like, that is such an insane fucking point. Isn't lethality the point of the military? Yeah. That's why they don't call the military the fucking murder department, okay? There's a reason why they call it the Defense Department. It used to be called the War Department. Why don't they call it that anymore? Because obviously words are supposed to hide the fucking truth. So when you actually unshackle and unrestrict dog whistles and openly say what that fucking means, that means you're going to be even more right-wing than the average fucking Democrat. Hello? What is happening? I thought liberals were the ones who were super fucking primed to aesthetics and optics and shit. What happened? All of a sudden you guys forgot? Optics matter? What happened? Okay, but they still openly say lethal aid. Dog, that's the whole point. They call it aid. They call it aid. They call weapons aid. You're doing the thing that I'm talking about. Like, Democrats do the thing, or the American State Department does the thing that I'm literally talking about by calling it fucking aid. They're still hiding what it actually is. Weapons. I was in awe. There's so many people were like trying to dunk on me on that point about like the lethality of the military. It's like, you guys are disgusting, dude. I mean, not you in the chat, but all these fucking like dumbass Ukrainian flag in the bio dipshits. Literally like, oh, hoorah, baby. That's American military might, baby. Hell yeah, brother. It's like, dude, you live in Estonia, okay? Shut the fuck up and enjoy your 55 to 60% female population and your fucking fiber optic cables and your goddamn internet-based voting system, okay? Why the fuck do you think this matters to you? Shut the fuck up. God, I fucking hate NATO, but especially because of motherfuckers like that, okay?
And our interests against Iran and Iran-backed.
Like, all it takes is me to talk to like a fucking Baltic NATO guy for me to lose my mind and become a fucking Z pusher, okay? Literally. It's like a reincarnation of gay Hitler over there. It's crazy, dude. I don't understand it. Like, welcome back Hitler, but this time a homosexual Hitler, okay? The fucking NATO Baltics Andes are so unimaginably fucking lame and so unimaginably pro-American military cock. It's not your cock. It's our cock. You don't have the cock. Stop fucking LARPing. You don't live in Texas. You live in Estonia. Shut the fuck up. I hate it.
Terrorists.
Now, I've been covering you for a long time. I've heard you talk about the need to cut the Pentagon's budget. Obviously, you've been an advocate of the arms embargo.
Well, let me
Israel.
just say, Jonathan,
Yeah.
in all due respect, the United States is now spending more than the next 10 nations combined on defense.
If you hate NATO, why should America care about Palestine? Wait, what? The reason why I hate NATO is also the reason why I fucking hate what America's doing in Israel and allowing Israel to do to Palestine. What the fuck are you talking about? It's just another arm of imperialism. This doesn't mean that I'm pro-Russia by any means, by the way. Fuck the Russian government, okay? Fuck Vladimir Putin. Fuck the Russian government. They should have never fucking invaded Ukraine. They're insane. Do you understand? They're insane and they're violent and they're engaging in an immoral, unjustifiable act by invading another fucking country, violating Ukrainian sovereignty. Having said that, however, we do that all day, every day, okay? Give me a goddamn break. I'm Turkish, dude. Of course I don't like fucking NATO. I'm a Turkish leftist. Why the fuck would I like NATO? It literally created a fascist movement in the goddamn country.
I agree with the vice president. We want the strongest defense in the world. But I do think enough is enough. You're seeing military contractors' profits soaring. And I think we can have the strongest defense in the world without spending $1 trillion a year.
But what about the tone she struck there, though, emphasizing the need to have the most lethal force, talking about being willing to take on Iran and vowing to give Israel whatever it needs to defend itself?
Well, look, what I happen to believe and what I try to point out, I try to make in my remarks, is that we have a nation today where 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck at a time when we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of this country. So I happen to believe it's important that we end the embarrassment of having the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. That's why I'm delighted that she is talking about making the child tax credit, which lowered childhood poverty by 40% as a result of the American Rescue Plan, permanent. I happen to believe, and I hope she will support, expanding Social Security by lifting the cap on taxable income so we can increase Social Security benefits. I hope we can move toward expanding Medicare to cover hearing, dental, and vision. These are popular ideas. Every poll that's out there say that
It's so funny that Bernie's like, hey, but remember like all these good policies that she should be running on? It's like, bro, you're right. Like, it's good. Like, I'm glad you're stumping for these good policies, but like she ain't running on it. That's the whole point. That's what's so frustrating about this is like Bernie's right. Bernie is literally right. I'm willing to bet there are more Americans that would be willing to overlook some of the other consequential problems like the top of the hour ad break under the Kamala administration, where the avoidance fee is still $6 a month instead of the $5 it was under the Trump administration. And yet there's still a free one, obviously, in the form of a Twitch Prime, where you connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite podcaster. Hopefully that's me. But like, people would be willing to overlook that at the top of the hour. I mean, that would be a mistake, however, because you would be looking at a 3-minute ad break. Unless you get gifted a sub. If you're lucky, here's a 3-minute ad break now. Problem is, Bernie Sanders is right. He was always right, and he's right here as well. Kamala Harris should drop all this fucking weird shit, trying to retriangulate her messaging to appear more moderate, and focus on good policies that help people. That's it. That's what you're supposed to do as a politician. God, we are so cynical. The part of the problem with the Democratic Party's base of support, at least like the most loud parts of Democrats online, is that they constantly chirp and LARP as though they are DNC operatives getting paid by the Democratic Party to like tell people, like, you don't understand. It's not for you, stupid. You need to shut the fuck up and vote. It's for all these other people that are magically going to be like, yeah, I don't really care about anything. I just want like a strong military. That's not a guy, man. And even if there is a guy like that out there who's like, yeah, I want a strong military. Okay. Guess what that guy also needs? Easier access to healthcare. Okay. Cheaper food, cheaper groceries. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it? Why was it that everyone was laughing alongside me when I was constantly fucking making fun of Joe Biden for being like, we did NATO? Was it only because he was older that was funny? No, because there's no one out there outside of the DMV that isn't like a fucking military industrial complex defense contractor slash like guy who is like heavily invested in the military industrial complex that goes, oh man, thank God we did NATO. Okay, that's not a real voter. That's not a person. That's not a person. Okay, there is no AUKUS voter. There is no Five Eyes voter in the United States of America. Holy shit.
Exactly what the American people want. The American people are sick and tired of seeing the people on top doing phenomenally well while they are struggling. And I think this is something that the vice president understands.
As you know, uncommitted delegates and other progressives have been demanding a pro-Palestinian speaker get a...
What the fuck? Am I missing something? Or all those policies just read off she is running on? CTC tax changes, taxing business and rich people a lot more, lowering prices. Yes, she is running on them. I don't think people understand. I am worried and upset that that wasn't the main focus of her fucking like acceptance speech, where she basically revealed herself to the broadest audience she's actually shown herself to thus far. I am mad that she spent time talking about, you know, the long dick of the law and the long dick of the American military and the long dick of Border Patrol, Customs and Border Patrol that's going to fucking purge Guatemalan migrants with expediency. Instead of those things, she should be running on those things. She especially should not be running on the border because that's a losing argument anyway. And everyone in here since that speech keeps coming and coping and saying, oh, dude, you don't get it. She did this for some other guy. Not you, not me, but for some other guy. There's a guy out there, I promise you, that wanted to hear these things. Otherwise, he would have thought she's not strong enough. People that look at her and go, that's a woman, she's not strong, are not going to be convinced by how fucking aggro she is about the military, dumbass. They think she's a woman and therefore incapable of leading. You know how you can get that person to come on board, though? Well, she's a woman, but at least she says she's going to make grocery prices cheaper, and I like that. So I'll overlook that reality and vote for the black woman. That's it. That's how politics works. It's that simple. And yet we play this fucking song and dance and make it so much more complicated. Why did you Why did you fucking ban the guy? In the midst of me talking about how Kamala Harris should run on the price of groceries being expensive and how she's going to fucking regulate that, he responded with kill yourself. Hasan. Well, his name is Deadly Mr. Merchant, so I assume he's a groiper. First message in the chat. Kill yourself, Hasan. Unban this guy. Let's hear what other wonderful things he has to say. Nobody believes Democrats when they say they are going to be. Nobody believes Democrats when they say they're going to be fucking militant on the border, okay? All you've done is prime your base into thinking you have to be militant on the border. All you've done is prime your base into being an advocate for border control, more border enforcement, more fucking deportation, more camps. That's all you did. You didn't actually fucking change the outcome of the race. You didn't win the Republicans over. What is this? Walking Wanderer. Would you rather be an African-American slave during the American slave trade or an Armenian in the Ottoman Empire? Would you rather sit on a dick and eat a pie or sit on a pie and eat a dick? Wow, that's actually that's crazy. Would you rather sit on a dick and eat a pie or sit on a pie and eat a dick is like, you got me. Like, I don't know what the correct answer there is. That's crazy. Also, both of these are very hard questions to answer. Like being black and having to be enslaved versus being genocided in the Armenian genocide is like, fuck, dude. I don't know. Both are pretty awful. I don't know which one, like, because the slave trade is also genocide of a different sort. I don't really know what the fuck. Sitting on a dick and eating pie sounds like a 2-for-1 for me. Those are some terrible choices, man. I'm going to go with the other third option that I believe we can get here. Okay, how about that? Hey, credit to a Turk for actually admitting Armenian genocide existed, though. Hello, welcome to the fucking HasanAbi broadcast. Why the fuck would you think that I don't? Like, I'm not exactly known for being a genocide denier, no matter how hard my fucking haters try to present me as that. How do you sit on the internet and talk shit knowing so many people dislike you? Not because you speak the truth, but because you're a shitty human. Easy question, easy answer. I'm willing to bet that virtually 99% of people, if presented with the options of a guy who goes into someone else's fucking community and goes, yeah, you should kill yourself, versus the guy who believes in universal healthcare, like which one is the worst person? They probably would think you're the worst person. The only difference is you've deluded yourself in the communities that you exist in online into thinking that you're doing something virtuous by doing this, that you're somehow fighting a good battle. I still want you to have healthcare regardless of your opinion on me. I still want you to be able to have an ease of access, to have an opportunity for upward social mobility, regardless of your opinion of me. I still want you to be able to get more from your work, to be able to have more autonomy in your workplace, regardless of your opinion of me. Okay? That's the difference between you and I. You want me to kill myself. I want you, regardless of your opinions, to actually have a better life. Because I believe that if you have a better life, then you inevitably will be less angry. Because what motivates someone to do such a thing like this online is a shit ton of anger and resentment. Someone primed you into thinking that I am your enemy. Someone primed you into thinking that I'm the worst person you've ever encountered. Okay? Someone also primed you into thinking that a lot of people dislike me. You probably deluded yourself in, most people don't know who the fuck I am. Okay? Ain't nobody knows or gives a shit about me. But you probably come from a community where they do. And they're really, really, really fucking invested in how bad I am. And the thing is, I'm imperfect. I'm a human being. Okay. I sometimes engage in hypocrisy just like we all do. Okay. The difference is if you have truly awful material circumstances, only then are you allowed to feel this way about another human that you do not know. You don't know me at all. Okay? You have no idea who I am. You don't even know what values I believe and espouse. You've been deluded into thinking that I am somehow hypocritical and actually against those values that I espouse because other people have primed you into thinking this way. You've been deluded. You've been duped. And I personally believe that if you had some of the problems that are probably weighing on your consciousness on a daily fucking basis, cost of living, the fact that like your landlord's going to fuck you over, maybe you don't have enough money at the end of the month to pay for your rent and also budget for fun shit that you want to do. Seeing someone like myself in a position of so much fucking privilege probably frustrates you. And you're like, this guy's rich. He has everything. And he's still fucking chirping. He's just sitting on his ass. All he does is fucking watch YouTube videos. Fuck this guy. Okay? I believe that you absolutely would be not doing this kind of shit if you had at least some of those problems solved. Okay? You'd be a healthier, happier person. One of the people who wanted to kill you yourself, made fun of you for being woke, etc., usually the eat the rich shirt type meme shit he saw, got really drunk last February. Oh, yeah, that guy, I remember, got really drunk last February and ran at the LASD with a sword that was engraved with Christ the King and got aired out by like 30 shots before he could reach them. I think about that guy every time there's a chatter like that. Fix your life, bro. Yeah, remember that guy? Did I say February? February, sorry. Yeah, he used to love getting drunk and like creeping people out on this website. Many such cases on Twitter, I mean. The hell, I didn't know that? No, he's a famous Twitter guy. He was like, he had an account on Twitter. He was one of those like, this isn't like CIA shit, chat. Rad Milk, yeah, Rad Milk on Twitter. That guy. No, that's real. Anyway, this guy unfollowed me, so he has to wait. He has to refollow me and wait so we can like write anything else in the chat. But yeah, LASD is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Bro, I genuinely don't understand how you have so much patience for advocating for stuff that are against your own interests because you're rich for the benefit of people who are so against their own interests. I'll be living in my palace somewhere and tell the peasants to go fuck themselves. I'll live in the grifter life. Well, because like these are things that I believed when I didn't have money, you know, that's it. And why the fuck would I change my attitude? No, not Rad Milk. That's a totally different person. Chat is stupid. No, it was Rad Milk. Do not fucking challenge me, law. I knew Rad Milk for 10 fucking years, stupid fucks. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, this is the dude. Something that I've learned by watching you respond to people like this is that most persons, including myself, really do forget there's a sad, angry person behind every toxic comment made out there on the internet. Usually the solution is to ignore it, but I like your approach much better. Yeah. I get it, dude. I get it. There's a lot of fucking anger out there. There's a lot of people who are angry, okay? There's a lot of people who are angry and resentful. Some, like, they're not just like evil people, okay? I mean, this guy did a lot of evil shit, so he might be maybe a little bit different. But like most people, it says he died. It can't be that chatter. No, dude. This person is an analog for that level of resentment that chatter is demonstrating. There's a lot of sad and angry fucking people out there, okay? There is a lot of sad and angry people out there. It's the same exact energy of like carrying on certain resentments and just like attacking a person online that you've never fucking met before, thinking that they're like a genuinely bad, evil individual, thinking that you're doing something virtuous by fighting this fucking battle where you're like, ooh, yeah, I told someone that they need to kill themselves online. And that someone is someone like myself too. There's like plenty of fucking people out there who I understand why you would be like, you know, kill yourself too. Anyway.
Slot at the convention, and convention organizers refused. Was that a mistake?
Well, I happen to think, and my views in this area are very different from President Biden's views. I happen to think that we should not be giving another nickel to Netanyahu's right-wing extremist government. They certainly had a right to defend themselves against the atrocious Hamas attack.
Boo.
They never had the right, do not have the right, to go to war against the entire Palestinian people, kill 40,000, injure 80,000, and destroy the healthcare system, the education.
I used to be a hater, but simmered down, held my mouth shut, and just tuned in to really see your opinions instead of what I heard or my prejudices. Love you now. There you go.
Educational system and the civilian infrastructure. What's going on and lead to the starvation of thousands and thousands of children. American taxpayer dollars should not go to starve children in Gaza. That is my view. Others may disagree with me.
You see any daylight between...
Holy shit. I know someone who was friends IRL with Rad Milk. It was incredibly sad and fucked up what happened to him, the path that all went down. RIP every y'all. Chat and joke, but this person was a person. He had people who loved him. Yeah, M. Hud has an answer to that. He was literally a piece of fucking shit who choked his girlfriend Ursula until her eyes were bleeding. Fuck his stupid ass. He spent his last months on Earth calling me and my friends pedophiles. Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a fucking insane person. He wasn't just like a shit poster. He was like fucked up. Yeah.
Biden's view on this and Kamala Harris's view?
Well, I hope so. I think, you know.
See, originally by secondhand reports, I got negatively polarized towards you, but then I had to just check it out myself, and now I can't leave this place. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I explain to people, your haters don't want you to see this, King. No, they do. They hate this. My haters hate this more. They can't understand it, and they get extra mad. I didn't want to watch you at first because it was an ABBA and Preach watcher until my friend put me on. That's all it takes sometimes. That's why I tell you guys, when you have friends that are like, you know, they have these like insane opinions of me, remember that, like, remember that they're fucking misguided. Get fucked, loser. Your haters can be a pipeline to your viewing experience. Sometimes they are, but a lot of people don't leave that space. Usually they just get negatively polarized and they just stay at that place. Where were we? Yeah, word of mouth on you is way too harsh after watching you. You're far more reasonable than people give credit for. It's because if you're here, that means you're probably extremely online, okay? And extremely online communities have incredibly polarized opinions on me, especially after fucking... In the month of August in 2021, I purchased a house, okay? Everything changed when I got doxxed. Literally everything changed when I got doxxed. After that, everyone was like, fuck this guy, socialist, but owns a fucking mega mansion castle. Okay? Usually, most people don't pay attention to anything. They don't pay attention to anything. They don't they don't have time. And I get that. Why the fuck should they? Who the fuck has time to be like, well, let me go investigate further to see what like everyone is saying about this guy, if it's correct or not. Okay? I have an old coworker who's destiny pilled, and I literally can't even play video games with him anymore because he always wants to talk about Israel or your $1,000 shirt or some dumb shit. Feels bad he lost his job and now just stays online debating all day. Yeah. My brother-in-law is an Asmongold watcher and hates you. How can I convince him that you're a good guy? I don't know. Show him like something that he cares about that I also have advocated for. That's usually all it takes. There's a number of yeah, I did get doxxed before I even moved into the house. Yeah, I've known ever since 2012 or so, just online. It used to be cool and just got more negative and evil over the years. Sad situation all around, but I'm always reminded of it when there are chatters who tell Hasan to kill yourself or whatever. Yeah.
You know, in all fairness to the vice president, you know, she's been the candidate for all of 1 month, and it's been a hell of a month. You have to organize the convention, select the vice presidential campaign, get out on the campaign trail. So they are still working through their policies. But I think at the end of the day, I hope very much that the conclusion that will be reached is that Netanyahu and his right-wing...
Yeah, it's like whenever you hang out with a new content creator and they're like, whoa, I never thought you were so chill. Like, people just need to give you a chance. That's it. So I try to do my very best to stay on message and be as consistent as possible. Eventually, no matter how aggressive you are, unless you're like literally a fucking Nazi pedophile, okay? Unless you are straight up a Nazi pedophile, you probably are going to be like, okay, maybe I was wrong about this motherfucker, okay? That's it.
Extremist government, which has received tens of billions of dollars of aid from the U.S., should not continue to receive that aid unless there is a radical change in their policies to the people, to the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank, by the way.
And on immigration, when Harris ran for the Democratic nomination against you and others in 2020, she said she favored decriminalizing illegal border crossing. She even suggested she would be in favor of abolishing ICE. Now, of course, she's taking, at least rhetorically, a much tougher line on border security. Take a look at this, one of her very first ads as the presidential nominee.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
What do you make of her transformation on this issue?
Well, I don't think it's a question of transformation. We have a crisis at the border, and we've got to make sure that fentanyl does not get into this country. We have to crack down on illegal immigration. But what we need is comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, you got God knows how many young people in this country.
Oh, dude, you can't get a fucking Democrat. You can't get one goddamn Democrat to be reasonable about this. It's so crazy. I will never stop being stubborn on this issue, okay? Just like the crime shit, okay? It's a panic completely concocted by right-wing reactionary sentiments. It is not born out of real genuine concern, is not born out of like a real examination. Okay? It's not born out of a real examination of the data. It is just completely made up, and we're just running with it. And not only are we running with it, but we're bouldering towards fascism. As an immigration attorney, it drives me crazy. It makes me so fucking mad, dude. It makes me so mad. It is, I mean, yeah, Bernie was also not exactly fond of immigration even back in the day. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just like a totally made up phenomena. Bernie, what are you doing? It's just made up. Yeah, I bet an attorney is watching. Brother, I was just at the DNC. It is not that shocking to have immigration attorneys watching me, okay? It was shocking to find out that there was fucking mayors of whole ass towns watching me. What the fuck are you talking about? An immigration attorney is like the most obvious person to be watching. Sometimes I have literal attorneys here staying at my fucking house. Public defenders. Well, former public defenders. I'm literally an attorney watching law. I know people just project. They're like, nah, dude, I ain't got nothing going on in my life. So obviously everyone else must be the same boat. That's it. So that's the thing, actually. Like, it's actually shocking that Bernie is bad on this message, especially because like motherfuckers yell about him all the time and lie about him all the time. He doesn't fucking cave. He doesn't capitulate. He doesn't concede. You know? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that he's been consistent his whole life. Why now? I mean, he's also been consistently not great on immigration. That was like the one issue that he actually moved to the left on, because his base, his progressive support moved him to the left on that issue. He used to say amnesty is like a Koch brother proposal. Like, he used to say, well, not amnesty, but like open borders are a dream, a pipe dream for the right.
The result of DACA, who deserve to gain citizenship. We need skilled workers, and we need workers in this country. A lot of labor shortages all over America where immigrants can play an important role. So keeping people from illegally entering the country obviously is the right thing to do. But we need comprehensive immigration reform, and I suspect that is what the vice president supports.
But if you take a look at that ad, one thing that I found striking is, if you look, and I think we have the images here, there are at least 3 points in that ad that show the border wall, Donald Trump's border wall. Is it now the position of the Democrats that they favor the border wall?
Well, you can ask the Harris campaign about that ad. That's the first that I've seen it. Bottom line is, I think there's wide recognition in this country, and we've had some success. I think the number of illegal immigrants coming in recently.
Good question. Don't you think that's hypocritical? A question more people will be asking Kamala Harris when she actually ends up doing some fucking interviews, which she probably won't.
Has gone down substantially. That is a major issue, and we've got to continue to do that. But at the end of the day, what we need is comprehensive immigration reform.
But the immigration, and you said it wasn't a transformation, there's clearly a change in emphasis on it. She is also, in her first campaign, she supported.
By the way, the reason why they're cooking Bernie right now is because the Harris campaign is sending out surrogates to get the shellacking because she doesn't want to get it. That's what's going on right now. And of course, the Democrats haven't figured out an adequate way to fucking message it. What? You also have this guy that I swear watches you. What I learned by playing Magic the Gathering with a Marine running for Senate? I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know why you're saying that. Anyway,
Medicare for all, like you. She supported a ban on fracking and offshore oil drilling.
Do you think Bernie will get more right-wing over time with the rest of the party? Brother, how much more time does he have? Like, no disrespect, but he's already 800 years old. Fuck you mean?
These are clearly new positions now that she's taken.
You know, Jonathan,
why is that?
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
You go out and you do a poll, as I have done, and you ask the American people whether or not health care is a human right.
Yeah, by the way, this interview with Bernie is showing how vulnerable Kamala is because there's no way her surrogates are going to be able to defend her coherently. Yeah. If only there was someone who just kept saying, hey, Kamala Harris, drop this border shit. Never talk about it again. Let's just move. Let's make bygones be bygones. Let's make believe that like you're totally a separate person than the Joe Biden administration because they are going to cook your ass alive now that you're fucking pro building a goddamn wall. Okay? If only there was a guy like that who may or may not have had Kamala Harris campaign staffers watching him, who could have, you know, who could have potentially fucking not made this massive mistake. I mean, it's already late to retract. No, it's never late. Just never bring it up again. You can always deflect. You can always move away. Okay? You can always move away. You can always use much more favorable, much more valuable forms of opposition like abortion or progressive policies. The thing is, Republicans are reactionary, okay? Which means they're easy to fucking manipulate. They have to react to whatever proposal you put out there. So if you don't fucking put out any proposals, then they're going to fucking move the conversation more and more to the right. You can never let them dominate the conversation. Flood the market with policies. Show everybody that those policies are good. Let them fucking be in opposition to said policies. Okay? Let them come out and be like, we can't be fucking feeding children in schools. That would be communism. Oh, what a dream. Can you imagine? These are policies that help Republicans. Okay? You think Republicans don't have children? You think they don't need to feed their kids? You think Republicans don't have kids? They don't like the child tax credit? It's so dumb. Give them something to fucking negatively message on. But if you don't do that, then they're going to fucking hammer your ass on all the positions that you've moved to the right on. They don't like their kids, though? No, that's fucking silly. Okay, we're not talking about like the biggest losers in the Republican base of support. We're talking about like lifelong Republicans who just vote and don't really think about it.
And whether we should do what every other major country on earth does and guarantee health care to all of our people, the answer is yes. Should we be spending twice as much per capita on health care?
One of the craziest parts about this conversation, one of the craziest issues here is that like Donald Trump is actually, being the endless room reader that he is, has dropped certain Republican policies or Republican lines of communication that like the previous Republican Party would never do. Like they never talk about the deficit. Okay. Nikki Haley tried to bring it back, but ain't nobody give a fuck about the deficit, dog. Nobody cares. Republicans never actually cared about it either. They just used that as a mechanism to fucking, to stop progressive legislation from pushing through. PAYGO was one of the worst things that Nancy Pelosi advocated for, which is why I will be a lifelong hater of Nancy Pelosi, even though I put that on a brief hiatus because of all the great things that she did. Okay? But like, it's a gift. It's a fucking gift to the Democrats that the Republicans have completely dropped some of these like classic anti-progressive agenda items. They just keep calling it communism and moving on. You know? Like there's no austerity justification from the Republican Party anymore. So use that to your fucking advantage.
Fight 85 million people being uninsured or underinsured. Most of the American people understand
fully understand
the system is broken.
Yeah.
So Kamala Harris and I have a disagreement. I do believe in Medicare for all. I think the current system is dysfunctional and broken. She has a different point of view. But right now, Kamala Harris is running against Donald Trump. And
all right, let's see what Fox is saying about Gen
TikTok
Z saying Kamala's campaign is all vibes, no policy.